Should you pause or slow down in your trophy position on your serve like Roger Federer? Well, today I'm going to discuss this topic and I'm going to tell you what I think is best for you. Hi, this is Jeff Salzenstein, founder of Tennis Evolution and USTA High Performance Coach. And what we're going to talk about today is that trophy position and what you should be doing with the racket in terms of how fast or slow it should be moving. Now, if you've studied Roger Federer's serve, you know that when he gets into that trophy position right here, he almost slows down, and it almost slows down his momentum. And guess what? I've got a lot of people coming to my courts, taking serve lessons from me, and they think they should pause too. But there's a problem in this. Many players are not as good. In fact, just about every player or all players in the world are not as good as Roger Federer. So that's the interesting thing, is we want to determine, should we be copying Roger Federer with certain aspects of the serve, and should we be doing something different? In this case, I believe we should be doing something different, because here's what I see. When players come to my court and they say, hey, I'm really working on pausing in my trophy position before I swing, I feel like they pause too long. They almost stop their momentum completely, and then they have to start the racket back up again. So I'm going to give an example of what I see. The racket gets to here, and then it starts back up again. Okay, watch this again. The racket gets to here, and it slows, and then it has to start back up again. And I see a lot of hitches. I see a lot of weird stuff happening up here because of the momentum is slowing down. And I really believe it's because players are trying to copy guys like Roger Federer that actually do slow down. It looks like he slows down a little bit at this phase of the swing in the trophy position. And again, as I've said, players overcompensate or do it too much. They slow down or stop their momentum way too much. It creates a hitch. Players lose rhythm. In fact, there's an ATP pro that I recently worked with that has that pause. He and his dad believe that that's the best way to serve, and I think he's losing rhythm, control, timing, and power by pausing. So what I want you to do is focus on having more of a continuous rhythm or serve on the serve. So how this is going to look is, instead of pausing up here and then starting back up again, I want the racket to continue to move, and I want there to be a gradual build, a slowness at the beginning and then an acceleration as you get into the racket drop. So if I were just to swing the racket continuously, this is more of what I want when a player is serving. I don't want this slow down and then start again. I don't want this slow down, start up again. I want slow, accelerate, slow, accelerate. You'll see me hit a serve now, and notice the tempo of my racket. Slow, accelerate. Slow, accelerate. So there's a gradual build, and then accelerate up to the ball. I believe for all players, maybe except for Roger Federer, who has incredible timing. He already has his rhythm established on his serve. He's one of the best servers of all time. I believe almost all players should focus on this continuous swing, this gradual build, this slow go rhythm to the serve. And I just believe it will really help players develop that rhythm under pressure, because so many players are struggling because they lose their rhythm in big moments. Another reason for the pause, by the way, or the slowing, is that I believe players toss the ball too high in general. I rarely see players with too low of a toss. Women, even the WTA, many WTA pros, they have high toss. Even many ATP pros have high tosses. Thomas Berdych and Marin Cilic had high tosses until they started to lower their tosses. But what I see is players that toss it really high, and then they have to wait for the ball in that trophy position. High, wait, and then they start up again. I'd rather have you practice having a lower toss so that the racket can keep moving, and then you can actually raise your toss a little bit at a time. So you could have a lower toss with the racket moving, and then you could raise the toss just a little bit as you start to use your legs. So see if you can just always keep the racket moving. Keep that racket moving. Keep the toss a little lower so that you have to find it. Again, when players come to my court, they have higher tosses so that they have to slow their swing down to wait for the ball to drop, and we don't want that. Another problem I see is that players start too fast in the beginning. So they start really fast and then they have to slow down to wait for the ball. So again, as I talked about before, instead of starting fast and waiting for the ball, I want you to start slow, and then accelerate. And there's a cadence, there's a rhythm. It's like a 1-2. You think about when you get up to the line, you can go 1, 2, right? 1, 2. And you'll notice the racket is not pausing up here. It just keeps moving. Slow and go. All right, so that's my breakdown of whether you should pause or not in the trophy position like Roger Federer. I say no. I say keep the racket moving, learn the proper rhythm and cadence, that slow go feeling, and you're going to develop a more consistent serve with effortless power and control. I really enjoyed making this video for you today. I'm passionate about helping players with their serves. It's one of the most misunderstood shots in tennis, and I really want to bring the right education and information to help players all over the world. So thanks for tuning in today to this lesson. We'll see you at the next one. And by the way, I would love for you to leave a comment, ask a question, give us a thumbs up, of course, subscribe to our channel, and get over to tennisevolution.com. There's a link below you can click on to sign up to get more free information, more free lessons, and you can also click somewhere in this video that will take you to Tennis Evolution or take you to a page where you can sign up, subscribe, and get more free lessons from us